This week is Gamescom week, so we've got all sorts of new information on all sorts of new games. iRacing Arcade has officially decided that that is its working title, and they release a release trailer just 4 days after I make a video on it, so that was quite humorous. Of course, we've got some more information on Project Motor Racing, we've got some more information on Assetto Corsa Evo, but there's something else going on that's got me a little bit concerned. Of course, thanks so much for joining us today, and welcome to the channel as always. My name is Matt. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Make sure to double check out my Fanatec affiliate link down in the description below. And don't forget to check out my merchandise website at oweo.com/store/Matt51Westby. The thing that I'm struggling with a little bit today is that it's actually on the handheld side of things. As many of you know, this is one of the most interesting and most anticipated handheld console that I've had in quite some time, and that is the ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X. The thing that has got me so interested is the fact that it is a handheld PC that is running Windows and is going to be running Windows but in a slimmed down operating system way, so it reduces the amount of memory being used on just functioning. It has more dedicated functionality towards running games versus using all sorts of system memory just to like get up in the morning, get out of bed type thing. So the thing that came out of Gamescom is just before Gamescom, actually. It was there's a rumored report saying that on August 20th there would be a pre-order date for the inevitable October 16th release. They were thinking that prices, this was a point of contention, but they were thinking that prices would be based off of what they were thinking the euros. I can't remember where they got their information from, but basically it was saying that they were thinking that the standard ROG Xbox Ally was going to be like €7.99, and then the Xbox Ally X was going to be €9.99. So honestly, just not great in terms of pricing. I think since then, the new rumored report is saying that the standard Xbox Ally could be as low as $549, and then this is the interesting one, is that the Xbox Ally X could be as high as as high as $1050, but the rumored price is going to be $899 US. So what's interesting about all this is that, of course, Microsoft had a presentation and letting us know that October 16th will, of course, be our release date, but prices haven't been finalized yet, and there isn't a pre-order date yet, which is, the fact that it's less than 2 months away is very deeply concerning. But of course, their main point was, for lack of better words, the tariffs. They're saying something along the lines of they are continuously, on a daily basis, analyzing the macroeconomics of tariffs. And the price point for me is going to be the most important thing about this console. It really is. Because the Steam Deck has done so incredibly well with Valve being able to subsidize its hardware based off of its software sales. And honestly, that's been kind of the thing that gaming console companies have been doing recently is, yes, you have what could be, I don't know, the PlayStation 5, in all honesty, given how technology is progressing right now, should honestly be a $700 console, but they're able to subsidize now $150 instead of $200. Of course, part of Gamescom was announced the fact that PlayStation 5 across the line has also gone up in price, so woohoo, tariffs. But tangents aside, I honestly think that there's got to be some subsidizing happening for the Xbox Ally, at least the base version. Because in my mind, the base version is going to be very comparable to the Steam Deck. And if we can get that as close to Steam Deck pricing as possible, it's going to be incredibly interesting to do compare and contrast between the Steam Deck and the Xbox Ally. And honestly, I've been wanting to get the Xbox Ally X from the standpoint that I just want to see what the best of the best of the best can do. But the fact that it's going to be nearly double the Xbox Ally's price for 8 gigs of RAM more and a better processor, which, by the way, both of those in conjunction will make for a severely more improved experience. But to have such a vast price difference between the two models of the same range is very unique and quite unfortunate, to be quite honest. So yes, it's this whole tariff situation is got the whole gaming world completely in a spin, because like I was saying, Sony just announced a $50 increase for all the PlayStation consoles across the board. So PlayStation 5 Digital went up from $450 to $500. The disc edition went up from $500 to $550, and the Pro, which was already at $700, is now at $750, which is making these consoles incredibly difficult to justify these prices. As consumers across the board are dealing with the effects of inflation brought on by tariffs, it's making it, people are being a little bit more careful with where they're spending their money. And like I said, I was going to go for the Xbox Ally X, but I think to have a more apples to apples comparison with the Steam Deck, I think the standard one is where I'm going to go, especially considering I don't have $1,000 just sitting around for a handheld device that I kind of am interested in. So why is the tariff such a big talking point? And I'll see if I can do my best to really describe what the problem is. What is even going on here? Wow. Okay. So the deal with the tariffs is, let's just say you have an agreement with the country where it's basically net zero. So for some products, it's 10% to import and then 10% to export. So call it net zero. If you announce tariffs where it becomes a little bit uneven, where it's you're charging the country to import to you, so their exports, you're charging an additional 15%, and they're not doing anything differently. The problem then is that companies in general offer a very slim profit margin. So a lot of the gaming industry, a lot of it is within 5% is the operating profit margin. It's just razor thin. So that's why microtransactions are so rampant, because it's basically free money as far as they're concerned. When you have this 15% difference, let's call it, for importing just the console from Taiwan or China to the United States, that 15% has got to go somewhere. These companies do not want to lose that 5% profit margin, so they'll just increase the price 15 to 20% to make sure that they still have that profit margin. And as much as you may dislike it or hate it as much as I do, that is just basic economics, is when there's those increased costs just to bring it into the country, then it needs to be passed on to somebody. And unfortunately, it gets passed down to the consumer, because so many companies right now are dealing with tariffs on everything, with importing the raw materials that they use to produce products, to I mean, just it's to the logistics and literally everything, every single line item price that you can think of that involves transportation across borders has gone up because of the tariffs for them. So for them to minimize the amount of times they're crossing borders is big to them. So unfortunately, that may be just the new reality is obviously these new higher prices that we have to pay to offset the cost of these tariffs. But in all honesty, the biggest thing that the ROG Xbox Ally, the biggest problem that it has right now, obviously, is price. Considering that Valve was able to subsidize the Steam Deck so much to get a $400 console, and if you have nearly identical specs with the Xbox Ally, and that's going to be rumored $549, and that is potentially pre-tariff price. If Xbox and Microsoft want to make this thing work, I think they've gotta figure out how to keep that price at $549, if not bring it down to $500. No matter what the tariffs are going to do, I think they've got to figure out a way how to subsidize that to get people in the door, because I think this console really could be the beginning of something great. Yes, it's the fact that Asus has only sold 500,000 of these handheld consoles before the Xbox partnership, while the Steam Deck is at nearly 4 million. Again, the fact that the Xbox Ally will have a slimmed down operating system and will have such a great compatibility with, you can basically put any game on it and it will run because of that Windows compatibility. It's, if they get price nailed down right, this could set up Xbox for the future to be able to partner with Lenovo and with other handheld console makers to bring a great Xbox experience on the go. And that's why I'm so excited about this, is because of that. But again, I cannot get over the fact that if price isn't nailed down day one, or the fact that they're still deciding prices now during the what should be the optimal pre-order time frame, is really concerning. But I'm wondering if Xbox and Microsoft are just playing this waiting game of like, okay, maybe something happens where we either reach an agreement where we don't have to pay as high as tariffs, or the tariffs just go away. But I get the feeling that we just might not even have a pre-order for this. I think they're just going to wait until October 15th and then go, okay, nothing's changed. This is what the price is. Prepare for the backlash. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys are thinking about this whole non-pre-order and not figuring out what the price is immediately of this ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X situation. Like I said, please let me know all your opinions down in the comment section below. I really want to have a good discussion about what exactly is happening, especially on kind of a global economic scale. I think it's a really interesting discussion to have. Of course, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Fanatec affiliate link down in the description below, and check out my merchandise store at wayo.com/store/Matt51Westby. Again, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Take care. Bye.